Excellent, excellent. And if you haven't seen, there's a poll in the chat there asking if you've watched my new video yet. Just running a little bit over 50%, which is not that surprising. The video has not performed all that well. So if it hasn't been recommended to you by YouTube and you want to see my new argument of how CARE is trying to bring the Sharia to America, be sure to go to the channel page and check it out from there. All right, let's dive into this Jewish dilemma here.
All right. So I want to introduce something from the Quran. You guys know about the general Islamic dilemma. The Quran affirms the scriptures that the Jews and the Christians have with them at the present time and the time of Muhammad, and therefore, if the scriptures do not contain in them what Islam says, Islam is false because it says it does. But if the scriptures are true, excuse me, I just completely said that wrong. The Quran affirms the scriptures and it confirms their contents historically. So, but second truth, the scriptures contradict the Quran. So you can say that the Quran is true, then the scriptures must be true, but the scriptures say that the Quran is false, so you end up with the Quran being false. Then if you go the other direction, say, well, the scriptures are false, well, then the Quran is false to start with because the Quran says that they're true. There's no way for you to get out of this circle where the Quran is identifying itself as being affirmed by something that does not affirm it. And that the thing that affirms it is supposed to be reliable. And so you cannot escape this. You cannot escape the fact that the Quran is just ridiculous and false. But there is, Muslims can say, oh, but it's only referring to the ones at that time. Well, the thing is, the ones at that time match the ones we have now. And Allah says this scripture can't be corrupted. And Allah was very firm that was with the Christians and Jews at the time. They'll say, well, it was the original ones, not the ones that are with them. No, the Quran is quite certain, very clear, that's the ones that are with them. So are the ahadith, that the scriptures that are with the Jews and Christians are the real scriptures. And so these are severe difficulties that Quran just, it falls into its own pit that it digs. So, but there is another aspect to claims that Islam makes about other religions that disproves Islam, aside from the claim about written texts, about scriptures. So in 930, we find the statement, the Jews say that Ezra or Uzair is the son of Allah, while the Christians say the Messiah is the son of Allah. Now, note the parallel here. It is accusing the Jews saying that Ezra is the son of Allah in the same way that the Christians say the Messiah is the son of Allah. It's put in parallel here. There would be no reason to believe that the Jews are saying this in any different way from how it is written here. Then it says, such are their baseless assertions, only parroting the words of early disbelievers, and it isn't quite parroting. But notice, disbelievers. So they're disbelievers by saying that Ezra is the son of Allah. How would that make you a disbeliever, one who does not believe in Allah, if you say that? Well, it would only be if it's shirk. It's the only way, or shirk, right? That's the only way it can be. May Allah condemn them. How can they be deluded? So Allah is going to, Muhammad is calling on Allah to condemn them, or Allah is calling on himself to condemn them, because this amounts to disbelief. And here's the actual word by word. So that is their saying with their mouths. So that's what they're saying with their mouths. That is the saying that they're doing with their mouths. And they imitate the saying. So the sayings, the things that other people say, of those who disbelieve from before. So those who disbelieve from before said the same kinds of things that they're saying. So who is it who disbelieved before these Jews and Christians? Well, it would only be the polytheists. The only people who disbelieved before the Jews and Christians are polytheists. So saying that the Messiah is the Son of God in the context, in this verse, it's saying that Christians believe in two gods according to the Quran. That's not what we mean. We do not believe in two gods, but the Quran believes that we think that Jesus came into existence as the Son of God after the Father copulated with Mary, which is why the virgin birth is given as a refutation of Christians. Saying that Ezra is the Son of God then is saying that the Jews believe in two gods according to the Quran. Because remember, who disbelieved before? It's the polytheists. So there's some copium here. Let me go ahead and bring this up. Switch over to... All right. So one of our favorite sites is on qa.info. And a Jewish person is rejecting what the Quran says and claiming that the Jews do not believe that Uzair is the Son of God or that the hand of God is tied up. So, here is the question from the Muslim asking the Sheikh about this issue. A Jewish person is asking me about the Quran and saying, we do not believe that Uzair is the prophet of God, is the Son of God. And there is no text that says that. We do not say that the hand of God is tied up, also true. And we do not say that we were the sons of God or his loved ones. That part is untrue. And he does not believe in the Quran for this reason. Probably he's equating these sons of God with the first son of God because of the whenever he was talking with them, like, we don't think that we're gods kind of thing. I hope that you could please resolve this confusion. He is demanding proofs and says these are mere fabricated claims against him. So he wants proofs that the Jews believe that Uzair is the prophet of God, is the son of God. And this is understood to be Ezra. The answer, let's see whether or not he can
before you get the answer, I mean, I would like those proofs too. I mean, I think this is a perfectly reasonable request by this Muslim. Along those lines, Morkay said, a Muslim asked me if I keep all the commandments of Uzair because I asked him if he keeps the commandments of Jesus. That was a very long LOL.
That's fantastic. That's
indeed. Shame on you for not keeping the commandments of Uzair.
All right. First, if that Jewish person were to give a little thought to the matters that he is confused about, he would realize that this problem stems from his arrogance and his ignorance of his own religion and history, and his ignorance of the laws of Allah, may he be exalted. If what Allah, may be exalted, said about his Jewish forefathers was not true, then those forefathers would have been quick to disbelieve the prophet. Thaddeus, were his forefathers quick to disbelieve the prophet? Muhammad?
No, because they didn't know about it.
No, I mean the ones who knew about him. Did they disbelieve Muhammad, or did all the Jews go, "Oh, you're right"?
Well, you said his forefathers, Muhammad's forefathers, but
no. It says
the Jews definitely disbelieved in Muhammad. Definitely.
Yeah, it says if what Allah said about his Jewish forefathers, the main.
Allah said. I thought you said
yes.
Muhammad.
So Allah said about his Jewish forefathers what were not true. Then those forefathers would have been quick to disbelieve in Muhammad.
And they, that's a good, they've set up a logical proposition here, right?
And were they quick to disbelieve
Muhammad is saying untrue things, then the Jewish people of his time would be quick to disbelieve.
Yes. So were they quick to disbelieve that?
Now, strictly speaking, you can't reverse it. Just because they were quick to disbelieve doesn't mean the first part is necessarily true. But
yeah,
a very interesting proposition they set up there nonetheless.
And to criticize the Quran for saying things that were not true about the beliefs and Jews of those Jewish forefathers. Did they criticize Muhammad for the Quran for just being made up nonsense?
Indeed.
Yes. But that did
and
not
not
happen.
just the Jews,
just a
right?
lie. He just lies. This is
not just the Jews said that, though, right, Mary?
Yeah, the Christians did too.
The Christians said that, and
the pagans.
The pagans of Muhammad society, they're like, dude, you're just making up tales that we've heard a million times and claiming you're getting them from God. What is wrong with you?
This is indicative of the ignorance of this objector and shows he is simply speaking of something of which he has no knowledge. His forefathers would not have wasted this precious opportunity if Allah had said something about them that was not part of their views and beliefs. Yeah, they didn't. They did criticize Muhammad. It's like, what are you talking about? You're full of it. Secondly, we do not doubt the truth of what Allah said about those Jews, for who is truer in speech than Allah? So we don't doubt this, but we have no evidence. This confused Jew is ignorant of the fact that in the Arabic language it is possible to attribute a view to a group of people without that necessarily meaning that was the view of all of them, rather that those who held the view may have been some of them, but the view may be attributed to all of them. The wisdom behind that in this case is the silence of the rest of the group, and the fact that they did not denounce this view means they approved of it. No, they did not agree with that. No one. And that case is valid to attribute it to the entire group. So,
hey, Mary, I have a question for you. Mm-hmm. Has Islam QA ever disapproved of anything on this channel? To the best of your knowledge?
Not officially, no.
They must approve of it. They must approve of everything on this channel.
so look at this again. Let's see whether or not this is about attributing to a few or to many what a few believe. The Jews say Ezra is the son of Allah, while the Christians say the Messiah is the son of Allah. Do only some Christians say that Jesus is the son of God?
No.
By
definition, you can't be a Christian if you don't believe that.
This here is a parallel between the two. Okay? And so one would expect that the Jews would believe in Ezra in the same way that the Christians believe in the Messiah. Otherwise, this would be a false equivalence, and Allah is a terrible communicator and really stupid to say that.
Oh, but in Mary, in Arabic, words don't have any meaning, right? Yeah, they said that. If you knew Arabic, you would know that this sentence doesn't really tell you anything.
Yeah, so...
Because it could be one guy. It could be talking about one guy, and Allah and his communication for all humanity just really hated that guy so much that he felt he needed to put it in there. We just don't know what Allah was intending to mean. So stop disbelieving, or else, I think, is the message here.